Also, one thing I just want to point on briefly before, you mentioned that your wife was actually from Pakistan. So how does that affect the relationship coming from different cultures?
It can be something to enhance your relationship. You know, as you say, variety is the spice of life. So I have Asian spice, I have American spice, mashallah. So if you come to my home, you'll get both meals. And both styles. Sometimes I wear shalwar kameez, sometimes I wear suit and pants. And you know, my children are of a mixed heritage now, and that gives them exposure to the beauty of different worlds, east and west. It has
something that can actually provide some more richness.
It can provide richness. At the same time, it can provide some unique challenges.
Right.
You have to look at it and be again aware of the fact of cultural nuances, language, expectations that may be there. And I lived in Pakistan for 6 years, so it helped me before I married. I lived in Pakistan while married, so I began to understand the society. It's not for everyone, I have to tell you that. And this is why, again, in Islam, we're talking about compatibility, even on the level of one's nation. And from one's, as the example was given earlier about Hazrat Zayd and Hazrat Zainab. They were from the same nation, but from two different parts of that nation. You know, there's many things you must look at. And so that's all I would say in the end, that although my parents were able to use Jamaat's system, and that's how they did it. That's how I found my wife. It wasn't a love marriage. I didn't go to the streets of Rabwa and look around every corner and say, oh, Dad, I like this one, you know? You know, as some may be thinking out here, well, we know what those missionaries are doing as they're riding on their cycles to the streets of Rabwa, searching for their future partners. No, they didn't happen like that. I was already set up through my parents under Rishtana's system, and I had to trust my father and mother that they were making good choices. And then primarily, and I want to emphasize this last point, primarily I had to trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He would bring the best person in my life.
Yeah, that's the key.
Through my prayers, through their prayers, and through trust that He guides everyone to what they need.
Okay, all right, Jazakallah. We need to wrap up quickly. Abil Sahab, how would you like to sort of...
well, for the youngsters here and through them to others, the message is very clear. When we recite Shahada, I be a witness, there is none worthy of worship but Allah. When we declare this, we have to believe in it. It is only Allah who will guide you to the correct partner, a beautiful life. You have to have full trust in Him. And with all due intentions, when your guardians and parents and your society brings in the bride or the groom, whatever the case is, you do not expect 100% purity in the sense, whatever you expected in him or in her. Because it is Allah who is absolutely perfect, no one else is. So if you have that kind of capability of adjustments, if you have that type of adjustments in your mind already made, then you will be having a very nice conjugal life and a happy family life, inshallah.
Okay. Dr. Saab, just very briefly, how would you like to conclude?
I would end with something I mentioned earlier, and with reference to something Hazrat Khalifatul Masih Rabi Rahimahullah Ta'ala mentioned in the United States and Canada in the mid-90s when he was addressing the Lajna at the Jalsa Salana. He was talking about love and its inherent meaning, and he described that the love between two individuals is only made rich when there is a love of God Almighty, because each of them will have that love of God Almighty that will help then create that love amongst each other over time, not instantly, over time. And I would sort of end with that from my point of view.
Okay, all right, Jazakallah. Is there any final point from the audience here? Yeah, we got Qasim here at the front. Just briefly, how would you like to conclude on the discussion we've had today?
If I can say something that I think a very important human characteristic is that people change. And no matter how much investigation you might think you've done, you might find after 5 years that the person is a completely different person. So you have to have the correct approach, which is that you have to have foresight and understand that the two people are growing together, and even if the person might have a weakness at the beginning, it can easily change.
Okay, that's a nice point to end on, and we've had a really good discussion here. We just need to wrap up. Our time is coming to an end. Obviously, I mean, from what we've discussed here, we've come to the conclusion that marriage is really important, and there's specific ways of going about it in the right way. Now, for you at home, if you have any questions, don't forget you can always email us in. Our address is realtalk@mta.tv. We've also got a Twitter page now as well. The address is there at the bottom of your screen. And our own official website is mta.tv/realtalk. Get involved, get in touch, and let us know what you think at home. This is the first in a two-part edition, and next time we're also going to be carrying on this discussion of marriage. So I hope you can join me then for that. But until then, assalamu alaikum. In Asian culture, I think there's a lot of confusion as to what aspects of Islamic marriage in terms of the ceremonies are cultural and which aspects are actually Islamic.
You may wish to follow only the Islamic requirements and that's it, yet you are marrying into a family.
The challenges do come with marriage, and you have to kind of find a common ground.
So there has to be some kind of arrangements, pre-arrangements, which will show the society that this guy and this lady is getting married.
Join me for real stories, real issues, and real views. This is Real Talk.